What's the job really like? So, you are thinking about becoming a software developer. That is a fantastic choice. It is a career that can be incredibly rewarding. But what does a software developer actually do all day? It is not just about typing code in a dark room like you see in the movies. Software developers are the architects and builders of the digital world. They create the apps on your phone, the websites you visit, the games you play, and the systems that run businesses. They are creative problem solvers who use the language of computers to bring ideas to life. Every piece of software you interact with was built by a team of developers. Think of it like this: a software developer is given a problem or an idea. Maybe a company wants a new app to help customers track their orders. The developer's job is to figure out how to make that happen. They start by planning. Then they write instructions, which we call code, that tell the computer exactly what to do. After writing the code, the work is not over. A huge part of the job is testing and debugging. Developers also work in teams. They collaborate with other developers, designers, and project managers to make sure everyone is working towards the same goal. Being a software developer is more than just a technical job, it is a creative one. You are constantly building something new from scratch. The first big question everyone asks is, where do I even start? The answer is simple. You start by learning a programming language. A programming language is just a set of rules and instructions that a computer can understand. There are many different programming languages out there, and it can feel overwhelming to choose one. The good news is that you cannot really make a wrong choice. The most important thing is to just pick one and start learning. For beginners, I often recommend starting with Python. Python has a very simple and clean syntax, which means it looks a lot like plain English. This makes it easier to read and understand, so you can focus on learning the core concepts of programming. It is also incredibly versatile. Once you have picked a language, the next step is to find a good learning resource. There are many fantastic online platforms designed for beginners. They guide you through lessons and immediately have you writing code in your browser. This hands-on approach is crucial. It is like learning to ride a bike. You can read about it all day, but you will only learn by actually getting on the bike and trying to pedal. Remember to be patient with yourself. Learning to code is a marathon, not a sprint. You will get stuck. You will feel frustrated. You will have moments where you think you are not smart enough. Every single developer has felt this way. It is a normal part of the process. Celebrate the small victories, like getting your first program to print "Hello World" on the screen. Reading about programming concepts is one thing, but truly understanding them requires you to use them. This is where building small projects becomes the most important part of your learning journey. You can watch tutorials and complete coding exercises all day long, but those activities often hold your hand. They tell you exactly what to do. When you start your own project, even a tiny one, you are in charge. You have to make the decisions. Your first projects do not need to be big or complicated. Start with something so simple it almost feels silly. Can you build a basic calculator that can add, subtract, multiply, and divide two numbers? Can you create a simple to-do list application where you can add and remove tasks? How about a program that tells you a random joke every time you run it? These small projects force you to think like a developer. You will have to plan the steps, write the code, and then fix all the unexpected errors that pop up along the way. Every small project you complete is a building block. With each one, you gain confidence and a deeper understanding of the programming language you are using. You will run into problems you have never seen before, and you will have to search for solutions online. This process of encountering a problem, researching it, and implementing a solution is exactly what professional software developers do every single day. So, these small projects are not just practice, they are a direct simulation of the real job. Do not be afraid of your projects being imperfect. Your first calculator might only work with whole numbers. Your first to-do list might not save the tasks when you close the application. That is perfectly okay. The goal is not to build a flawless, market-ready product. The goal is to learn. So finish your small project, even if it is not perfect. Then look at it and think about how you could make it better. If you ask 100 senior software developers what the single most important skill in their profession is, most of them will not say knowing Python or mastering JavaScript. They will say problem solving. At its heart, programming is not about writing code, it is about solving problems. Anyone can learn the syntax of a language, but the truly great developers are the ones who can look at a complex, messy problem, break it down into small, logical pieces, and figure out a clear path to a solution. This skill is more valuable than knowing any specific technology. So, how do you get better at problem solving? One of the best ways to practice is to intentionally seek out puzzles and challenges. Websites like LeetCode, HackerRank, or Code Wars are like gyms for your brain. They provide thousands of coding problems, ranging from very easy to incredibly difficult. Working through these problems teaches you to think algorithmically. Another crucial part of problem solving is learning how to think before you code. When faced with a new problem, resist the urge to immediately start typing. Instead, take a step back. Grab a piece of paper and a pen, or open a simple text document. Write down, in plain English, what the problem is. Remember that getting stuck is a fundamental part of problem solving. You will hit walls where you have absolutely no idea how to proceed. This is not a sign of failure, it is a sign that you are challenging yourself. When you get stuck, learn to be methodical. Try to explain the problem out loud to yourself or even to a rubber duck on your desk. This technique, known as rubber duck debugging, often helps you spot the flaw in your logic. One of the best things about learning to program today is that you are not on this journey by yourself. The internet is filled with vibrant, supportive communities of learners and professional developers who are willing to help. Trying to learn everything in isolation is not only difficult, but it is also slow. When you connect with a community, you gain access to a massive pool of knowledge and experience. Where can you find these communities? A great place to start is Stack Overflow. It is a question and answer website that is an essential tool for every developer. Chances are, if you have a programming problem, someone else has had the same problem before, and the solution is already on Stack Overflow. Learning how to search effectively and ask well-formulated questions on this site is a skill in itself. Another fantastic resource is Reddit. Subreddits like r/learnprogramming, r/computer science, and specific language communities like r/Python or r/JavaScript are full of beginners and experts discussing everything from basic concepts to career advice. Beyond forums and Q&A sites, there are more interactive communities as well. Discord and Slack have become popular hubs for developers. Many online courses, coding boot camps, and open-source projects have their own dedicated servers, where you can chat with fellow students and mentors in real time. This can be incredibly helpful when you need a quick answer or just want to feel connected to others. GitHub, which is primarily a platform for storing and sharing code, is also a social network for developers. You can follow other developers, contribute to their projects, and see how real-world software is built collaboratively. Do not be a passive observer, be an active participant. When you learn something new, try to explain it to someone else who is struggling. Answering questions is one of the best ways to solidify your own understanding. When you start applying for jobs, a potential employer will want to see proof that you can actually code. Your resume can list all the skills you have, but a portfolio really shows them. A portfolio is a collection of your best projects that demonstrates your abilities to a potential employer. It is the single most important asset you will build as a self-taught developer. So, what should go into your portfolio? You should aim for a small collection of 3 to 5 high-quality projects. Quality is much more important than quantity. Do not just include every little script you have ever written. Instead, choose projects that showcase a range of different skills. For example, you could have one project that demonstrates your ability to work with an external data source, like an API, another that shows you can build a clean and responsive user interface, and perhaps a third that involves a database to store and retrieve information. For each project in your portfolio, you need to present it professionally. A great way to do this is to create a personal portfolio website. This can actually be a project in itself. It does not have to be fancy, just a clean, simple site with an About Me section, your contact information, and a project section. For each project, include a clear title, a brief description of what it does, and a list of the technologies you use to build it. Most importantly, provide a link to the live, working application and a link to the source code on a platform like GitHub. This allows employers to not only see your finished product but also to look under the hood at how you write and organize your code. The code on your GitHub profile is a critical part of your portfolio. Make sure it is clean, well commented, and easy to read. Write a good README file for each project. This shows that you are not just a coder, but a thoughtful and communicative developer. Once you have a solid portfolio, it is time to start the job hunt. The first step is to create a resume that highlights your new skills. Do not worry if you do not have previous professional experience as a developer. Your projects are your experience. Put your projects section right at the top of your resume, even before your work history if it is not relevant. With your resume ready, start applying for jobs. Do not just limit yourself to junior developer roles. Look for internships, apprenticeships, and even roles with slightly different titles like technical support engineer that can be a great foot in the door. Customize your resume and write a short cover letter for each application. Mention the specific company and why you are excited about their work. It shows you have done your research and are not just blindly sending out hundreds of applications. Use networking to your advantage. Connect with recruiters and developers on LinkedIn. Attend local tech meetups if you can. A personal connection can often get your resume to the top of the pile. The next stage is the interview process, which can be, honestly, a bit intimidating. A typical tech interview process involves several stages. You might start with a phone screen with a recruiter, followed by a technical screen. The technical screen often involves a live coding challenge where you share your screen and solve a problem while talking through your thought process. They are not just testing if you can get the right answer, they are testing how you think, how you communicate, and how you handle pressure. Practice this by talking out loud while you solve problems on websites like LeetCode. If you pass the technical screen, you will likely have a series of final interviews. These may include more coding challenges, a systems design interview where you map out a high-level plan for a large application, and behavioral interviews. For behavioral questions, use your project experience. Talk about challenges you faced while building your portfolio projects and how you overcame them. Be prepared to talk in detail about every project on your resume. Be honest about what you know and what you are still learning. Enthusiasm, a willingness to learn, and a strong problem-solving mindset are what employers are looking for. Congratulations, you made it! You got the job offer, and you are officially a professional software developer. This is a huge accomplishment, and you should be incredibly proud. All the late nights, the frustrating bugs, and the hard work have paid off. However, it is very important to understand that this is not the finish line. In many ways, it is the starting line. The field of technology changes at an incredible pace. The programming languages and tools that are popular today might be replaced by something new and better in 5 or 10 years. The single most important trait of a successful, long-term software developer is the commitment to continuous learning. You must cultivate a lifelong learner mindset. Your first year on the job will be a whirlwind of learning. You will be learning the company's specific codebase, their internal tools, and their team workflows. You will be surrounded by more experienced developers, and you should treat them as your greatest resource. Be humble, ask a lot of questions, and listen carefully to their advice. Absorb as much as you can. This learning should not be limited to what you do during your 9-to-5 work hours. You need to be proactive about keeping your skills sharp and up to date. Dedicate a small amount of time each week to learning. This could mean reading tech blogs, listening to programming podcasts, or watching videos about new technologies. You could also continue working on a personal project on the side to experiment with a new programming language or framework that you find interesting. This keeps your passion for coding alive and ensures you are not left behind as the industry evolves. Ultimately, being a developer is a journey of constant growth. The problems you solve will become more complex. The systems you build will become larger. Your responsibilities will increase. You might move into a senior role, become a team lead, or specialize in a niche area like machine learning or cybersecurity. None of this will be possible without a genuine curiosity and a drive to constantly improve. Embrace the fact that you will never know everything. See every new challenge as an opportunity to learn something new. This mindset will not only make you a better developer, but it will also ensure you have a long, successful, and fulfilling career in this exciting field. Embarking on the path to becoming a software developer can feel like standing at the base of a massive mountain. You look up and the peak seems impossibly far away. It is easy to feel overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information you need to learn. But remember that every journey, no matter how long, begins with a single step. You do not climb a mountain by jumping to the top. You climb it one steady step at a time. The roadmap we have discussed is your series of steps. Start with one language. Build one small project. Solve one coding problem. Each small action moves you forward. There will be days filled with frustration. You will stare at your screen for hours, unable to find a bug caused by a single misplaced semicolon. You will feel imposter syndrome, the nagging feeling that you are a fraud and do not belong. Know this, every single developer, from the fresh-faced junior to the seasoned principal engineer with 20 years of experience has these days. It is part of the job. The key is perseverance. It is about what you do on those hard days. Do you give up, or do you take a deep breath, go for a walk, and come back ready to try a different approach. The rewards for your persistence are immense. A career in software development offers not just financial stability but also the profound satisfaction of creating things. You get to build tools that people use, solve puzzles that challenge your mind, and work in a field that is constantly shaping the future of our world. You have the power to bring an idea from a simple thought into a tangible product that can be used by millions. That is a special kind of magic. It is a creative outlet and an intellectual challenge rolled into one. And the best part is that this career is accessible to anyone with the curiosity and determination to learn. So as you stand at the beginning of this path, be excited. You are about to learn how to speak the language of machines, to build your own corner of the digital universe. The road ahead is challenging, but it is also incredibly rewarding. Trust the process. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Connect with the community, stay curious, and never stop building. You have everything you need to succeed. Now go write your first line of code. The world is waiting to see what you will build. Good luck.